Hi, and welcome to a video on how to graph quadratic functions on the TI Inspire. In this video, we are looking at example 2 and example 3 from the chapter 8 of Algebra 1. You can see all the details up here. We are looking at how to graph one of a function, a quadratic function, whether it's in standard notation, like example 2 here, vertex notation, like in example 3, or any other notation where it is already solved for y or has f of x equals the rest of the function. If you want to know how to graph a quadratic which is not solved for y, any other type of parabola, you'll want to see the video 0.5 Graphing Conic Sections, where I show how to graph parabolas, hyperbolas, ellipses, circles, all those sort of things. So to get started, let's go to our calculator and we're going to go ahead and graph. So going to our graphing screen. Our first function was in function notation, it was in standard form, and our graph automatically brings up the graphing bar for function notation, so we don't need to change the settings. If for some reason you have something else already in there and it's in the wrong form, remember, you can go to Menu, Graph Entry Edit, Function to be able to bring up this bar. So our first one is 3x squared. We're going to type in 3x squared minus 6x plus 5. If for some reason when you type the square button, you notice your cursor stayed up here, you want to make sure that you arrow to the right and the rest of your numbers look like whole numbers and not like they are up in the exponent. Notice the difference between the negative 6x here, it's a larger number, it's on the floor of the writing here, versus the minus 6x up in the exponent. We do not want it up in the exponent spot. So we've got 3x squared minus 6x plus 5. I hit enter, I see my graph. And if I need to, I can change my window. But this graph, I can see what I need to see, and I'm good with that. My next function, I'm going to hit tab. It's g of x equals, so it's already in function notation. We have a negative 2 parentheses x plus 2 to the power of 2. So I need to arrow to the right, add in my exponent power, plus 3, and hit enter. And there is my quadratic that I can see there graphed. Now again, if you need to change the window, I would go to Window Settings, and change and adjust that around as I need to, but in this case I can see both my graphs and they are accurate enough. Now also remember, because these are in function notation, because they are functions, I can use the table of values. My shortcut is Control T. That'll bring up the table of values, and in this example I've actually got two functions graphed. So notice the column to the far left are my x values. Then I've got my f of x, f1 of x, which was my 3x squared function, and f2 of x, which is my negative 2x function. Notice it's not perfectly written here, but I can see by its notation, the rough notation here, which function it corresponds to. So these are my y values for that appropriate function. So when x is 1 for my blue function, my y is 2. When x is 1 for my red function, my y is negative 15. So you can use that to graph some accurate values when you're plotting points. And that is how we graph quadratics. And as always, to clear everything out, Menu 1, I'm in the table function. So actually the best thing to do is get rid of the table first. Let's do that. Then Menu 1, delete all. So Control T brings up the table and Control T removes the table.